of observation. That was my first words to you. What do you call your drawings?
It's my daily practice, automatic drawings. I don't have any intent when I'm doing them, except to do them and see what comes about. I guess you could call it people call things like that channeling, but I'm just drawing. I just go into empty mind. Really, it's just doing it, trying to stay in a neutral zone mentally as I draw and just see what happens with it. It's interesting doing these because it causes me to go back and look at them, and I'm always surprised. I mean, I don't know and I honestly don't know. You see things, you read things from them, but when I do them, there's no, this is going to be a this or this is going to be a that. Drawing suggests what I do next. So I just kind of go with flow of the drawing.
But they are a continual stream. You just keep going as you draw them. The first words that triggered me with you was the power of the observation. In these drawings that you do, Bob, they assist me with astrology or what outer world energy is coming through or people through the day. I'm starting to realize that your drawings might be one of the new ways that we communicate with ones that can't communicate clearly, as in a new way of schooling, a new way in people with mental disabilities or speech. They might be able to be used in types of therapies as well. Because a lot of people draw light language and things like this, and I feel that that might be the new way schooling comes through, where it's more like a trigger for people rather than letters or numbers. It's through drawing. They're like maps. The drawings have feelings. This is possibly one form of new way that we have our educational system, through feeling. Assist in disabled children. It might help with people in elderly homes. It might help with people who are so mentally locked up that they can express through the drawings.
Well, you know, it made me also think, haven't we all been disabled?
Maybe that's why I can read them.
It's like I have. Where do I go to this? What app is that? And I mean, they're right there. And I'm saying, okay, where is it? And it's not that it's complicated at all. My mind, it feels a sense of kind of confusion. But with a drawing, I just draw. I'm not having to think, okay, where is this there or there? It just is.
I was attempting to bring up these high-res images of yours, and it was locking me down, and I'm thinking, I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting angry, and I'm going, this is not what I'm about, which is exactly what you said. There's got to be another way. I'll do it this way and see if this works. Bringing in things of sense and feeling into a 3D format. And so we're having to cross it over. I was in the mirror getting ready this morning, and a lot of messages always come when I'm getting ready. Which brings me to your name. He bobs between two realms.
Oh, wow.
So I see you like out of water, in water. Your head's bobbing above the level and down below the level. And I feel like that's what might happen when you're drawing. And he's going down, he's drawing. He pops up, has a drink of coffee.
And that's what I do. I may look up and just pause and then go back down. And that's my process, because I can very much control it. And sometimes some people say hello or start talking to me while I'm drawing. And sometimes I don't even look up, and I'll just say, hey, how you doing?
Coming from a family of 10, distraction is high. I always found it interesting that why is all this coming to me? Because I've got so many things and requirements that I've sort of got to do through the day, but it's because you can handle it. I might not meditate how other people meditate, but I can do this while I'm doing something, like you can. Bob draws these drawings when he's at a coffee shop in the morning. It's noisy. They got coffee machines going, and it's busy.
Got music, condenser of the refrigeration unit, and then they're grinding at times, and then they're steaming. And
so with your drawing and the busyness of your drawing, your other senses are still capturing those details. So again, you're doing you're bobbing up and down.
I think that's really interesting. There's so much interlacing in the drawing.
You look at lace and you hold it up. It's busy. It's got a lot to tell you.
Italian grandmother came from Sicily. She could lace. The lace work was phenomenal. This beautiful dining tablecloth, still have it, and that was her wedding gift to my mom and dad. So it's quite a craft.
We have found through art and our photography, we would comment as creators that the devil is in the detail. I know devil has a horrible word for many. Something you look at can be so simple, but it's very cleverly put together. And it's in the detail. Look at your drawings. The whole drawing is detail.
Yeah. When you said devil, I thought of it as negative, dark, but in the darkness, we've come to know that as the womb and the void, prime for all things created. It's the gestation point.
By allowing the audience to complete the picture, this is what I find in your drawings, is you're engaging the viewer, the power of observation. They can collect information that they need for the vibration that they're at that point.
Where he went to the party of the man who bought it, and his painting was hanging up on the wall. He grabbed it off the wall and took it back to his studio. He stole it from the guy because he was looking at it and he saw things that he wanted to do on it.
Gigi, 18-year-old, her drawings shapeshift to another type version of that being. Like you said, it's not right. It's not finished yet.
And the energy's always shifting. She's never the same being as she's painting from moment to moment. Every viewer, how it impacts them. The painting's always changing because the observer changes the painting. Slit theory, where everything's changed by the observer.
The slit theory is my favorite, dissolves science. The B, which is my other connection with you, also dissolves science. These two similar informations really do assist how I see your work, is that it shuts all that down. It gives light to a new way of teaching others how to use drawings.
We might have obsessed over the detail, and it drives us crazy. The folly of it too is there's no perfection. Any creative act is ongoing. It's never done because you're never done. There are new ideas always come. So it's never-ending story.
Eternal story, which is us.
Yes.
This looks like a little kid's toy, an imaginary being. This was the first one. Playfulness to it, a calling. Didn't know what it was. And then this began the process. These treasure maps or intel or light codes. So this one it's got a footing. It's needing a touchdown. Started to realize that these are actually really starting to talk to me. What is it that their message that they're trying to get across? But when you go around the edge of the perimeter, you see the new ways trying to come out of the matrix. It has a sharp point to it. Some of them actually look like weapons. Sometimes a weapon's actually just a tool, like a chisel or a pen. Weapon and tool and gift are all the same word. 18th of January, islands starting to form. This is probably when the comet was getting closer to Earth, where you see Bob hasn't drawn in between. That's like a channel, allowing our minds to allow the new to come through. The 22nd of January, a Christmas tree branching off with a new spin on it. Two prominent eyes at the top, like an owl, represents wisdom. It also represents quiet. This time, January 2023, was a time to be quiet, take in all the new energy coming through from the comet. A lot of people get rattled with owl type energy because an owl can spin its head round, always has a good view. It flies silently. It doesn't need to make a lot of noise.
Anecdote about an owl. Riding my bike at night, and this owl was paralleling me, lying 8 to 10 feet above me, but I could see it out of my peripheral. It flew on up into a tree, stopped my bike, and I just watched it for about 10 minutes. That was a side street, and as I got back on the main street, the owl swooped down and flew right over my head. Talk about silent, really amazing connection.
We would always check on injured animals on the side of the road. We kept coming across all these birds, these owls in particular. And we found out they're not dead. They're anting, lie on the ground as flat as possible and encourage the ants to come on them and eat all the parasites and bugs. So now you have an ant, which is a completely different species to an owl, working together. So the owl's allowing the ants to come and feed, and it's also got cleaners. How these drawings and this intel of information you have coming through is you don't know where the information's coming from, but it feels good. And this is like the owl. You're just allowing it to happen. Again, the bobbing between the two realms, whichever realms they are.
Whichever they are, wherever they are. Yeah. I love that.
26th Feb. So those three, very similar. Ones are the digestive tract. It was like they needed more definite lines, bolder lines, because they just needed it clearer. The finer detail was rattling them too much. It was like one day it was like this, and the next day it was like that. Find a place for everything. Like when you shift into a new home, it was like they were sorting out. 4th of March. This is like ions, looking through a microscope at what's going on inside our bodies. You can see some are separating by themselves, but this is part of the recolonization inside us, possibly from the comet. You have all that exterior. My life's changing, or people around me changing. Now let's go and see what's happening inside the body.
All the other stuff are the waves on the surface. This is down in the depth.
You can see bigger zones going into smaller zones, and then they're creating their own spin. Really like shedding programs. Each ion in your body is learning how to spin by itself and then become a greater creator. And then we go to the 5th of March. That was me on the 5th of March. The kids just say, that's like spaghetti. And I go, that's how I feel.
Spaghetti.
It's spaghetti. And that's okay. You're allowed to be spaghetti sometimes.
Yeah, really.
When all the ions are working out their own spin, they become a lot. It's like you have a hive inside you. This hive is organized now. It still, though, looks very busy.
Maybe that's a busyness of calm. Maybe that's what calm actually looks like.
It's so funny that you find calm in spaghetti.
Yeah, in physical form I do. My go-to comfort food.
You're Italian, right? And I'm Greek, and so whenever you visit yo, she'd make you a big bowl of pasta. You eat.
That's right. Yeah, if I need grounding, pasta is the grounding food. It's the go-to. Even testing it, see if it's al dente right out of the pot. That first bite is just like, okay, everything's fine.
The foods that you eat, what you require emotionally at that moment, they're attempting to get in touch with their senses. It's interesting that we do it through food. I used to love potato, but I can't eat it at the moment. Potatoes are grounding food. It's my comfort food. I have lots of fond memories of it. By us eating the spaghetti, we have kind memories and loving memories. Again, coming back to your senses.
Just getting the pot boiling, that action starts the grounding.
Not just eating the food, it's the memory of it. It's the journey. And that's what we were saying with these drawings. And most artists is that it's the journey of the art. We were warned of the 3 spin year coming. 31st of January. This drawing is showing how it was progressing, and it was one of the confirmations for me about the year coming. It's not just me now getting it, and it wasn't just others receiving it now. It's coming through in a drawing as well. And I realized that the spin isn't actually a neat spin. So when I thought of a spin, I was thinking of a perfect orbit. So the first spin we have at the top is a tri, that was like a trinity. So that was the comet. The second spin is an upside down love heart, which I felt was the mother energy. The mother energy really rattled myself and many others. So it's done with love. Mother energy is so challenging. It really does dig up everything. So the third spin comes back into a tri again. It's like it's reassembling in a different tri. This is the bottom spin, which we're coming into the end of the year. 1, 2, 3 worm type beings. They're like popping their head out going, what the hell's going on?
There's a lot of that going on.
That one made me smile, made me realize it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. You're all right.
Yeah.
See how the drawings, they bring up emotions, they bring up feelings, they can bring up codes, and every person that sees these will see something completely different. And they might look at it the next day and see something completely different again. It's a way of communication. The 17th of Feb, it looked like a plane.
Let's see, it might be the 6th. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
I bet you. Yeah, and that was different from a lot of them.
For many years, I've known that our DNA was more connected to ants. I felt that this is like a flying ant and it's heading to ground. It's rattled though, and you can see around its throat like it's shattered or struggling to get the words or the vibration out, but it's flying a bit crazy. That's okay, it's heading to ground, so.
I wonder if that's why we were represented as ants against the grasshoppers in that animation movie.
As great as all the movies have been, they're also smear campaign. They bring out a movie so that it discredits information like we're talking about. That's make-believe. Yeah, it is make-believe.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
26th of Feb. The ant that was flying, this is his throat now getting bigger, more space to it, and the body's decreasing.
So the throat is opening up. So able to vibrate with ease with the flow of the air and communicate.
The abdomen from ant, that's how we got the name. And now it's going below and time to digest it. (31st of March). I felt like this one understood me. Underneath there's busyness. I think I've got 3 or 4 platforms there. The arc at the top has a frequency to it. It looks like music and it looks like a seesaw. And you have the bottom relating to insect. She's telling us who we are, our origins. These levels, how they're flat, there's one big one at the top. I felt like people were coming to new levels of understanding because March was such a doozy month.
Oh, that's for sure.
Being on the left, it has another version of itself upside down. That does happen.
Oh, yeah.
One minute you think you're going this way, but you also have someone else on the other end of the seesaw pushing you up and down as well. 4th of April. It was like a big helium balloon. This one was very definite shapes, sort of rectangular shape at the top and a triangle and then a circle. There's a lot of space in between the information. It's very sharp, cleaner spins. The rectangle one feels planetary, like moons or planets on either side. At the top of the triangle, it's going into like a circle eye section, looking for structure, looking to the hive, and they've placed it in structure that is already known, the information in forms of child's play. The circle, triangle, rectangle.
It's kind of like 1, 2, 3, make it easy. It's really funny looking at these and then that transition from the others and then all of a sudden this one. It's like it kind of stops you. Where did that come from?
Other ones are really they had a free flow, whereas this one's like, okay, let's try and make it work this way. Felt like that's what was going on at that time. Felt like that was very connected to the mass consciousness, what was going on with everyone.
Yeah.
Be a lot of the time scratching my head going, what is going on? Like, You know, I feel things from people. It doesn't necessarily have to be them standing right next to me. I can feel them over the other side of the world, and it does get confusing. You hear about astrology or you see a drawing like this, and the drawing and astrology explains it way better. By us sharing this information now, this way might assist others to help decipher in themselves what's going on, because sometimes you can't find the words or the explanation. You could point to the drawing and say, oh, that's how that made me feel, and that's how this made me feel, and then they start to see who they are. It's a great way of healing. It's knowledge as well. It might trick them into being able to be telepathic. There's no rules on this. Bob, when I say these drawings, that's what I feel, the comfort. A lot of the time in your own voices think you're just alone. You think it's just you.
You're not long connected to everything.
Even though you haven't drawn the drawing, you're just allowing the drawing.
Exactly. That in itself, just practicing allowing.